Hi everybody, I'm back. I hope I can say I'm back with a good news, but unfortunately, I'm back with heartbreaking news. Going back, it was January 5th in the morning. I woke up around 6 a.m. and medyo masama talaga yung pakiramdam ko. Yung mga symptoms na naranasan ko during that day was pabalik-balik ako ng banyo. And nag meron akong headache, meron akong sipon, ubo, dry throat, meron din. And pag tumatayo ako, pag gumagalaw ako na masyado, nahihilo ako. So these are the symptoms na naranasan ko during that day. And talagang masakit yung ulo ko. I'm having really bad headache during that day. So I messaged my supervisor that I'm not gonna be able to go to work, and he said okay, but he advised me to consult a doctor and to do a PCR test. At around 10 a.m., I went to one of the hospitals and I did the PCR test. While waiting for the result, I was still feeling those symptoms, and at around 8 p.m., received ko yung message from the hospital, and I also received a notification from the application that I tested positive sa COVID-19. When I received the message, I don't know what to do. So, medyo nagpanic talaga ako. Nagpanic ako ng sobra because I don't know what to do and I don't know who to contact and I don't know what will happen. So, ang ginawa ko noon is merong hotline kasi for COVID patients. So, I called them and they advised me to visit one of the prime laboratories here in my place to do a retests. So the following day, kahit medyo masama pa yung pakiramdam ko, I visited one of the prime labs to do a test, to do a retest. On that day then, lumabas yung resulta. So I had 2 positive results and may tumawag na sa akin. So the Department of Health here in UAE, they're calling the patients, they're calling the people who are infected by corona so that they can advise them what to do. So I was advised to go to the prime laboratory to do further check or further tests. So on the third day, I visited the prime laboratories here in Alain. It's in Al Khabisi. If you're living in Alain, it's in Al Khabisi. It's the Alain Convention Center, and it's just in front of Jimmy Mall. So on the third day, I had to do ECG, I had to do blood tests, and I also had to do X-ray to see if there is any possible complications because of the COVID. After all the tests, one of the doctors advised me to visit a bigger hospital with bigger facilities because they saw something in my ECG. So medyo kinabahan na ako noon. I thought I'll be in the quarantine facility, which is okay din naman lang sa akin to avoid further infections. But when I get to the another hospital, they also were the one who transferred me from the laboratory to the hospital. When I got there, I did another ECG, and ang advice naman ng doctor was I can do home quarantine. There was nothing wrong with my ECG. I don't know what happened on the lab, but they advised me that there's nothing wrong with my ECG. Alhamdulillah. Thank God. So I was advised to do home quarantine for the next 14 days. For the next 11 days actually, because that was my uh, third day. But before sending me home, they make sure that they give me medicines. I have tons of medicine actually. Eto. I have Vicks. Meron din ako pang kumakate yung lalamunan ko. And then vitamin C, of course I have. Alcohol, I have. Then of course the masks. Then I always make sure that I have water. I always make sure that I keep hydrated. So these are the advice of the doctor. This one, I cannot tell you anything about the medicine because I'm not really familiar and I'm not in the medicine field. Pero ito yung binigay nila sa akin. And also, to make sure that I'm following the home quarantine guidelines, they also had to put the tracking watch on my wrists to make sure that I'm staying at home, to make sure that they can monitor me. On the fourth day, that was yesterday, yung nararamdaman ko was just intermittent headache. Paunti-unti na lang na headache, pero may sipon pa rin talaga ako. I am having runny nose yesterday. Uh, pero hindi na masyadong masakit yung ulo ko, and from time to time na lang talaga siya. And then today is the fifth day. Wala na akong sipon actually, pero medyo garalgal pa yung boses ko. But I'm feeling way better compared to the days before. I'm not feeling any headache, I'm not feeling any dizziness, and body pain wala din. I know what it feels like to be infected by COVID, and I made this video so I can also give awareness to many people, to my viewers especially, what to do and what not to do, just in case you found out that you tested positive, or at least if you're experiencing symptoms of COVID. The very first thing that you have to do is do not panic. Instead of panicking, ask for medical advice. If you have any hotlines for the laboratories who's handling COVID cases, might as well call these hotlines so they can tell you what to do. That's what I did. Although I panic also, like what I said in the beginning of the video, I realized that when I panic, it's not gonna help me at all. So I asked medical advice, and they told me, they informed me what to do, and I just follow the guidelines that they gave me. Aside from seeking medical advice, I also message my friends who were positive in COVID, because they have the first-hand experience and they know much better than I do. So I asked for their advice on what to do. They advised me to drink vitamin C, more fruits like citrus fruits like orange. They also advised me to do the traditional Filipino medication, yung suob. Suob ba yun? And I believe that it really helped me a lot. Also, you have to follow the quarantine guidelines and the medications that was prescribed by the doctor. Another very important thing is, even though you lose your uh, sense of taste, I would still recommend you to eat properly and to eat healthy. Huwag niyong hayaang mawalan kayo ng gana, or actually mawawalan talaga kayo ng ganang kumain, pero huwag niyong hayaang hindi kayo kumain, kasi kailangan niyong kumain so you can defeat the virus inside your body. And lastly, it's a little bit hard to move around, especially if you have COVID, but I would recommend you to move around. May hilo ka, you will feel dizzy, but I would recommend you to move around. Kailangan mo kasing pagpawisan so you can extract all the bacteria inside, or the virus inside your body. So these are my advice, and I really hope na matapos na tong pandemic, because it, for lack of a better word, it really sucks. I know that more than ever, people are more aware now, people are more educated, and we know what to do now. But I still want to make this video to bring more awareness to people. COVID is everywhere, and anytime you might be infected. I really hope that this COVID situation would end really soon. But as of now, I would encourage everyone to practice the guidelines set out by the government and follow the rules and regulations, to do social distancing, to wear your mask properly, and to sanitize every now and then, to be able to avoid this kind of situation. That's it for now. I hope that wherever you are, stay safe and stay healthy.